The Real Jail Experiment, Part 2, Day 1. The lights come up on a unit that has only known night. Steel hums. Locks click open in a rhythm the body doesn't trust yet. Silence stares back like a question nobody wants to answer first. Freedom is loud to ears trained on shutdown. Some men step out like it's a test they've already failed in their heads. Some move slow, scanning corners the way you do when the rules just changed and nobody told you the fine print. The deputy is outside the glass now. That's not nothing. It means nobody is standing between a grudge and a bad decision. It also means nobody is standing between a good decision and the man who needs to make it. Day 1 is shock therapy. Everything rigid becomes soft. Everything soft becomes fragile. Phones, showers, tables, day room space, TV time, even the air you breathe becomes policy in the making. The pod divides fast into 3 camps. The hustlers, already calculating angles. The peacemakers, already proposing rules. The watchers, saying nothing, taking notes, deciding who they'll be when it matters. Don't touch that tray. Line starts here. Respect the elders. Small sentences become the Constitution before anyone calls it that. The first argument happens where it always does. At the fault line between pride and space. 2 men square off over nothing that is actually everything. A place to stand. A way to be seen. A couple of OGs drift forward without drama. Arms folded. Eyes steady. Not begging for peace, naming the cost of war. The heat drops 10 degrees because the room remembers the difference between authority and ego. That difference is Day 1's whole curriculum. The phones are the next battleground. They always are. Freedom without order turns a dial tone into a riot. Somebody writes names on a paper and tapes it to the wall. 5 minutes each until the pen runs out. Nobody loves it, but everybody understands it. Order is the tax you pay on a door that stays open. A handful begin to clean without being told. It looks small from the outside. It isn't. A man who picks up another man's trash is doing time a different way. He's betting on a future he can sit in. That's new currency in a place that usually trades in edge. Old habits still circle like sharks. Hooch gossip buzzes. Ink talk pops up under a spades game. A laugh goes sharp and the room tilts for half a second. Then it levels because men who want this to work step into the space and hold it. No speeches, just presence. The sheriff's wager is in the air like static. If you blow it in 30 minutes, it's over. That timer is still ticking, even though nobody says it out loud. The test isn't whether the unit can be perfect. The test is whether the unit can recover. On lockdown, recovery is a deputy with a key. On Day 1, recovery is a brother with a voice. Randy, true story, keeps moving like a man with a broom and a mission. He treats the floor like a mirror he plans to face later. Willie frames it bigger every time he talks. Don't make jail comfortable. Make it changeable. He wants out, not up. He wants the door at the end of the door. You can feel some of the younger ones wrestling with that. They've only ever known power as volume. Today they see power as restraint, and it looks like weakness until it doesn't. A deputy checks in through the glass and then steps back out. It matters that he steps back out. It tells the room the leash is longer but not gone. It tells the room the leash is them. Meals hit different when nobody is banging on steel. 15 minutes per level becomes 20 because the lines are cleaner and the deputy doesn't have to fix what the unit is fixing for itself. That's the quiet math of Day 1. Every self-controlled moment buys 5 more minutes of trust. Every cheap win costs an hour. The power team tries to form itself out loud. Half the unit bristles. Nobody wants a tyrant with a fresh badge. But structure is not the enemy. Ownership without titles is the play that works. House rules beats house rulers, so they start writing. No drugs, no weapons, no stealing. Phones rotate. Quiet hours respected. If you've got a problem, take it to the circle, not the floor. It isn't poetry. It's plumbing. And plumbing saves houses. The first apology arrives like a stray dog. It doesn't make eye contact. It mumbles. It still counts. Another man nods without making a show. Forgiveness here is not sentimental. It's operational. It keeps the door open. A young guy tests the line just to see if it's real. An older head meets him halfway and offers choices instead of threats. Choose respect and keep your space. Choose ego and lose it. That's the new math. Day 1 teaches a boring revolutionary truth. Freedom is chores. Freedom is schedules. Freedom is who takes out the trash when nobody's watching. Freedom is the unglamorous labor of not making other people pay for your moment. You can feel the room starting to breathe on its own. It's ragged. It's honest. It's not a miracle. It's a muscle. And muscles grow under weight, not wishes. The hardest part to see from the outside is the invisible work. Men who used to perform toughness now sit with their hands open so their voices can carry farther. Men who used to move first now learn to look first. Men who only knew respect as fear start to practice aversion that doesn't need a witness. This is not the end of violence. It's the beginning of options. The sheriff watches from the edge with a face that knows headlines are cheap and culture is expensive. If this holds, he will be called reckless and lucky. If it fails, he will be called naive and dangerous. Either way, the men will live with the cost. So he lets the room carry itself longer than feels safe and exactly as long as feels necessary. That's day 1 leadership. Not micromanage. Not abandon. Hold the standard and let the people touch it. By afternoon, the unit has a pulse. It's uneven, but it's a pulse. A couple of small flare-ups die without drawing blood. A couple of smiles land without being taxed by bravado. A couple of men stand a little taller because somebody believed they could. The old rhythm still knocks now and then. It always will for a while. But the new rhythm is audible. Not a march, a heartbeat. Day 1 closes on a question that doesn't need a microphone. Can you keep this tomorrow when the novelty wears off and the grind begins? Can you pick each other over your habits when nobody is filming your best moment? Can you love this place enough to make it safe and hate it enough to leave it better than you found it? That's the hinge. That's the work. That's the door you have to walk through every hour the doors stay open. Tomorrow the elders stop hovering and start deciding. Lines harden into lanes. Titles appear whether anyone likes the word or not. The question will sharpen from, can we do this, to who leads this? That is where the room learns the difference between control and care. OGs take control. Will it be power over or power for?